Hi, Simon. Hello. Welcome to the Comkids. We are very happy to have you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And thank you for having me. Very interesting.
Pleasure. First of all, I will ask you briefly if you can introduce yourself with your own words. That is, I think it will be the best. Who are you?
So my name is Simon Staffans. I'm a producer and CEO of a production company in Finland, in a little town called Vaasa on the west coast of Finland. I have way too many years of experience in the media industry, over 30 years, in everything from publishing to radio, from television to film, online, etc., and so forth. And throughout my career, I've been really interested in how to use new technologies to work together with the audience and to connect with the audience in different ways and engage with them. And so for the past few years, I've been looking into artificial intelligence, of course, as one of the tools in the toolbox. And a couple of years ago, we started collaborating and producing quite a lot for Swedish television, for the minority languages in Swedish television. I believe it's one of those productions we're going to be talking about here today.
Exactly. You said a lot of things, but you never told me how was you as a child. Did you like new technologies then? I mean, were you kind of a nerd trying to discover new things?
Yeah, in the ancient times when I was a child, I was really interested in new technologies. I remember vividly being thrilled receiving a Commodore 64 as a Christmas present when I was like 8 or 9 or something. I started coding, etc. I also remember visiting the library a lot, and I remember the library personnel calling home to my mother and telling them that I'm crying at the library because there were no more books I could reach. So, and I was like
this
6.
Is something, but it's
So
very
that's
interesting, the combination between the two extremes, no?
Uh-huh.
Technology and books also, and that has a lot to do with your program, your proposal. But first of all, just to give us a context, tell us about this tradition that you have in the north, let's say from here, and it's very special and very particular for us. We don't know that. Tell us the tradition so we can understand your project.
Yes, so it's a tradition that is quite important every year. It's sort of like it's something that there is put quite a lot of money into the prime productions. So in the 24 days leading up to Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve is when we celebrate Christmas in the Nordics. It's when we do all the gifts and all the food, etc., and Santa Claus comes to visit. So from the 1st of December up until the 24th of December, we always have a countdown, which is like an advent calendar. It comes in many forms. It can come as a chocolate calendar, so every day you can open up a new piece of chocolate, or it can be people can have a beer calendar or whatever they want to. But in television land, what you do is you have a 24 episode series, which is usually a drama series that counts down, begins on the 1st of December and ends with the finale on the 24th of December. And so that's what we did this year as well, albeit with a slightly or quite a lot lesser budget than the big productions, but still an advent calendar in 24 episodes.
So it is a day-by-day tradition, day-by-day surprise, and in programming, it is an issue. People really need to produce something special for those days. In your case, you came across this idea. How was the origin of the idea, and why they picked you?
So, as I said, I've been experimenting with AI in different versions, with ChatGPT, with Midjourney, with DALL-E, with Stable Diffusion, all of the different tools available to start creating something with artificial intelligence. It's quite exciting in the beginning, I thought, and it still is, of course. So in early 2023, I got the call if I could come in and be the producer for something that was as of yet unnamed. The only thing that Swedish television knew was that was going to have something to do with Sami school children, and it had to be based in some form on artificial intelligence. So then we started developing the idea, like, what could we actually do with artificial intelligence and with these kids? And we came up with the idea that then became the Christmas miracle.
Well, Simon, you have said a lot so far, but we don't know what it's about, how it looks. So let's jump to the first clip so you and I and the audience can understand exactly what we're talking about. Well, pretty a novelty and the kids creating. Do you think that the kids actually were creating? Which is the limit of creation when we talk about artificial intelligence?
So yes, well, there are different layers to this exact production. One is the thing that it plays out in Samiland, so in northern Sweden, and we don't have our own experience. We don't know what it's like there. So we actually needed the kids to tell us what was correct and what wasn't correct. As we know with artificial intelligence, it hallucinates a lot. And as the kids later on like found out that there were a lot of things that artificial intelligence could not do or did in a silly fashion or completely wrong. So we needed the kids to be our guide into their world, to tell us what was correct and what wasn't. So in that sense, they were creative, but they were also creative in the sense that they put the original idea to the AI, and then without them we would have been in the dark, so to speak. So yes, especially in this production, they were crucial for us to get the end result we wanted.
And as a logline, how would you describe the main idea that the kids created?
Well, Sami school children helping Santa Claus rescue Christmas with the help of artificial intelligence.
And why was Santa threatened? What was the problem?
Okay, so what we came up with was the idea that a story that we started creating. So the story is Santa Claus wants to move into the modern world. So he builds himself a turbo sled, a turbo-driven sled. And against all the advice of his elves, he goes out on a first test trip. Of course, he runs into a snowstorm and crashes in the forest. And all of a sudden, this is the day before Christmas. So all of Christmas is threatened. Perhaps the kids won't get any presents anywhere in the world. So we have different characters up in Swedish Lapland that get together then to help Santa Claus fix his sled and get back to the North Pole where he lives and rescue Christmas, so to speak. And what we did was, yeah, sorry.
No. And coming back to reality, how was to get these kids working on your project? How difficult or easy was to enter the school, to train the teachers not to interfere, these kind of things? How was the experience?
Oh, it was quite a better experience than I would have expected. The Sami schools were quite flattered that we were trying out something for the first time ever with them. and they were quite eager to let their kids, their pupils, the children in the school, experience something totally new. So we had actually the run of the school, the run of the classes. So they basically threw out all the other subjects during the weeks that we were in the school and let us film with the kids, which was good in a way. But then again, after a couple of days, the novelty of working with us and AI started to wear off. So as I believe we all know, working with kids, if you do the same thing too many days in a row, they become a little bit bored, even with something as fun as working with AI. So yeah, it was a good experience.
But in concrete, how many days, how many weeks, how was the organization?
The shooting was 4 days in one school and 3 days in another school. So all in all, the total production time for 24 episodes was 7 days.
Well, Simon, let's allow the kids to tell by themselves what was the experience. Well, I think that they say, and it's very funny when they say that artificial intelligence would be idiot. That part is, it is really, really, really interesting. For you also can be idiot.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, as we know, you have to check everything once or twice or even 3 times or more with artificial intelligence. If it's text or if it's image or if it's video or if it's audio, you need to have at least so far, you need to have a human eye on it at some point to check that there are no hallucinations or inconsistencies. So yes, absolutely. But what we also realized that we did during this production was helping the kids with some media literacy. So to understand the different challenges and the different aspects of working with media and working with artificial intelligence. Like, for instance, just the fact that the kids, obviously, what they wanted the most was to have avatars of themselves made with AI. I mean, that's quite natural. So they wanted us to take pictures of them and make avatars of them. But then we had the opportunity to explain that it's not good to take actual images of yourself and upload them to servers in the US and give the rights away to the AI company. So we didn't do that. Instead, they drew images of themselves, and then we made avatars from those drawings.
And what did you learn from the kids, not from artificial intelligence? Something surprising that you can share with us?
perhaps that they're even more flexible than I thought they would be. Even though they didn't understand the intricacies and the actual technologies behind artificial intelligence, they took to working with AI and the speed of working with AI like fish to water. There was very little explanation needed. There was very little coercing or trying to fit them into the narrative. They just took the idea, they took the images, they took the working with AI, and they just ran with it. And we just had to keep up with them, basically.
One of the things that is difficult for the kids is to wait for, no? The waiting time that sometimes technology demands. How did you solve the problem?
Also, we worked in different layers with the kids. So the story itself, the 24 episodes, that's 2 layers. That's one is the actual story that moves forward with each episode, and one is how the kids work with the story. So those are already working together in each and every episode. But the kids always had different scenes that they could work with in different ways. So there was never a dull moment during the shooting and the filming. We obviously always took them out to be interviewed as well. So there was never really a dull moment.